Hello and welcome to the Week in Review, a show that brings you up to date on the week that was. Here are the top stories. Mamata presents Please All No Price Hikes Budget. Economic Survey predicts recovery, recommends reforms. And Delhi court says homosexuality is not a crime, activists celebrate. It's been a week filled with major government announcements, but none was as big as the railway budget unveiled on Friday. Railways Minister Mamata Banerjee unveiled a populist budget full of goodies for passengers. She didn't touch passenger fares or freight rates and announced a dozen point-to-point non-stop trains, 50 world-class platforms, and special trains for women and youth. Concession passes for economically weaker sections and minorities were also introduced.
A new train services by the name of Duronto with AC and non-AC sleeper will be introduced for non-stop. This is non-stop from point to point.
On Thursday, the government tabled the economic survey, which predicted a 7% growth in this fiscal. But it cautioned that much depended on the progress of the monsoon and recovery of the U.S. economy. The survey recommended major reforms, some of them contentious. These included deregulating sugar and fertilizers by eliminating price controls and phasing out all cesses, along with the securities transaction tax, the commodities transaction tax, and the fringe benefit tax. The Department of Telecommunications has asked the Finance Ministry to let winners of the upcoming auction of spectrum for 3G phones to treat their bid amounts as expenses. And though the bids for spectrum are expected to run into thousands of crores of rupees, the proposal may not save telecom companies much tax.
Analysts do say that there are other provisions in the Income Tax Act where they can set off these monies as expenses. But they would prefer to amortize it as that would be a more telecom-specific provision.
Earlier this week, the Finance Ministry said it had made it easier for developers and non-banking financial corporations involved in some infrastructure projects to borrow overseas. And moving on, gay rights activists broke out in celebration on Thursday after the Delhi High Court decriminalized homosexuality. The historic judgment read down a provision in the 150-year-old Section 377 of the Indian Penal Code. Both activists and AIDS organizations say the move will make it easier to deal with health problems.
There are a whole range of communities that have been seriously affected by HIV in this country. And they have always said that discrimination against same-sex loving people comes in the way of very solid HIV intervention programs of distribution of condoms and raising awareness. And we are hoping that that hurdle is now away and that we'll be able to save many more lives.
And that's all we have for you this week. Thanks for watching.